You know, a question's always asked in life. What do you want to do in life? What are you trying to accomplish in life? What is it that you want to be? What are you aiming for? And in most cases, people might have an idea, and a lot of people have no idea. But then when they give the idea, they say, I want to be an Olympic athlete. I want to be a designer. I want to be a web developer. I want to be a singer. I want to be a professional photographer. You know, I want to be a professional makeup artist. And then the question comes, well, what's holding you back? And then the common answer that we'll give is we'll start naming things and people and these ideas and things around us that are holding us back, when the fact of the matter is the only thing that's holding you back is you. And you need to examine ourselves. We need to examine ourselves for the excuses and the lies that we live by, that we say these things are holding us back, because really you're free. And when you say things are holding you back, that's when you limit yourself. That's when you put, you build your own bars to your own captivity, and you live in that prison. You were free, you were made free, and the only thing that's holding you back is you. Now, I've had the opportunity to get around a lot of high-level leaders. I've seen people on stage. I've seen people off stage. I recently was listening to a pretty well-known motivational speaker, and I was a big fan. And then I kind of heard some stuff today promoting a big thing that he accomplished, and in the background he posted the video, and he was just playing some like super foul music. So how could you play that and promote that and then go on motivational tours and talk about building people up and helping them and character and doing the right thing, when the music that you just promoted with your name on it saying what you accomplished is absolute trash? So many people are two-faced, two-sided, three-sided, four-sided, including me. Everybody has a different way of looking at things. And is there one? Because I've got close to so many leaders, and I get up close enough and I get disappointed every single time, because I believe that I'm searching for this true north, this true perfection, if you will, this true personality that just shines through and is godly, right? That's not worldly. Somebody that's not speaking foul and talking foul on and off stage. Somebody that's the same person on stage that they are off stage. And frankly, I haven't found it. So I question sometimes, does that exist? And then do I just deal with my own demons and not try to fight this battle and pretend like it doesn't exist? And do I let that part of me out, even though I'm trying to overcome it and get rid of it? Because I want to be the person that is setting a good example all the time, that is speaking good things all the time. Yet I find myself slipping when I'm not on stage. I find myself getting in conversations with people that are more, I'll change my conversation and my whole demeanor and character in order to fit in with other people, and I don't like it, right? So, but that part of me does exist, and it comes out when I'm talking to these people and I'm associating with different groups. It's kind of natural. It's like who I was and who I am is not the same person, but when I converse with people that I used to hang out with, who I was comes back out, so that being that's inside of me still exists. And I believe that everybody has it. So I don't believe it goes away, because it hasn't gone away. I've been training on it for years. Now, maybe this has something to do with the input that I have, and I realize and been paying attention to the input and the things that I watch and pay attention to, and I realize that I'm planting negative seeds back inside my mind. So I try to be the positive person and stay consistent on the positive side and building this motivation and trying to be a leader and a better example. There's areas in my life where I'm letting in negative garbage, and that's probably fostering and feeding the old behaviors that I have. So I'm on a mission to eliminate that stuff and see where it goes. Jordan Peterson had a speech before where he said, hey, the quietest person in the room is the most dangerous person, right? And that's because they've got control of the demons doesn't mean that they don't exist. And that's another principality that I look at through reading and studying the Bible is the flesh exists and it's real, right? And the flesh is part of you, and the flesh is from the world, and we are from this world, but we are not of this world. So I believe that there is that consistent battle that's always going on inside of us between the flesh and between, God, right? The Holy Spirit, that being inside of you. It's in so many different songs, scriptures, poems, philosophers. People have talked about this since the beginning of time. And it's these voices, the right and wrong, the devil on one shoulder, angel on the other, the good voice, the bad voice, your conscience, all these different ways of describing it. And it's real. And people will act like it's not, or that you're crazy if you talk about it. And it's wild. One of the books I read, and I would highly recommend it, is called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. If you've never read that book or listened to it, it's an amazing book, and I think it's really eye-opening just to see how the flesh is always working against you. And I think we really just don't get rid of it until we leave, until we're gone. And that is our cross to bear why we're here. So my question becomes, do I harness the power of the flesh and use the flesh to its advantage because I can move people with the flesh? I don't know. So I think the true answer is I want to do what's good and right for people, and I want to build people up and not tear them down. And then the other side is like, man, I'm great at, judging people, making fun of people, tearing people down, and being funny and obnoxious. And if I had to pick which one I could immediately draw bigger crowds from, like if that was my goal, I know for sure that quickly negative seeds grow faster. That's the best way that I could say it. Negative seeds grow faster. They take up root just like weeds. It doesn't take much to grow weeds. So I can go out there and be negative and disgusting and foul and spit out the most, vile, just bad things, right, for people. And I know that it'll attract a big audience. I can do a lot of funny stuff. That's my sense of humor on that side of things is pretty funny. Now, I hide it and I don't put it out there because I don't think that that's worth promoting, because I don't want to spread that out. I don't want to be known for that. And I believe that that is planting bad seeds. And, whatever we do, whatever we throw, the seeds are going to grow. And I don't want to put that kind of stuff out there, right? I want to put positive stuff. I want to enhance people's minds. I've done so much in the past that hasn't helped people. And I'm just trying to clean up the garden and get rid of all the weeds that I planted and harvested for many years. So it's just a challenge. It's life. I believe everybody goes through it, but part of it is becoming conscious of what's going on, what's going into your mind, what's coming out of your mouth, what are the actions that you're taking. There's only two things that we can really control in life, and all of these all the things and the results that we build up in life are all a result of these two things. And the two things are your actions and your attitude. Those are the two controllables. So your attitude controls your happiness. Your attitude controls your level. It limits you. Your attitude is a way of seeing things. It affects your mannerisms, and it bleeds right into your actions. So those two things we can control. And if I'm going to put out an attitude message and talk with a specific attitude, I want to make sure that I have a good attitude, because I'm spreading good seeds to the people. Because again, whatever we put out there grows. And the more it flows, the more it grows. So I don't want to put out negative. Yet it's just lurking in the background all the time. And it bothers me. And it's a everyday struggle. John Maxwell said, what is the biggest victory of a leader? And he said the biggest victory of a leader is victory over self, and that you fight it every single day. So in that aspect, from his vision, from his mindset of somebody who studied leadership and been in the industry of self-development for years, is still saying every single day I have to battle myself. Every single day I have to battle myself, and it doesn't go away. So I guess getting around people when they're doing their thing and you're looking at them on the highest level to look up to them or understand them, put them on a pedestal, and you're placing them so high. The reality is that they're still battling the war against themselves all the time. And people sometimes will naturally go into the old being, the natural being, the worldly being, the flesh being that wants to bond with other people and attract to the vibes that are in the room. I've just seen too many times stage talk is not the same as off stage talk. And I want to be the same person on stage that I am off stage. That's my goal. That's my challenge. That's my cross to bear. And that's what I'm working on. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm progressing. I know that I'm not who I was, and I'm getting better every single day. So the best thing that I can share is what's helped me, and hope that it helps you. So the one thing that I've done is I've been doing my best to become conscious of the words that are coming out of my mouth. I got called out the other day for switching tonality in the house, just raising tonality and not realizing that I was doing it because it was natural. A conversation was getting heated and my tonality started to change. And I allowed my emotions to naturally take place and reflect in my tonality and mannerisms that could set a bad example for somebody else who's trying to manage a conversation. I let myself get heated. And becoming aware of those things helps me control them. So one of the most important things that we can do is be aware of what's going on when we're talking, when we're speaking, when we're living, and become conscious of being in the moment. So many people are walking around in automatic, not even realizing what they're doing. They're already programmed. They trained themselves this program, since probably they were in their teens. We've been getting programmed since we were babies. And once you're programmed, the program will just automatically run. And that's why we're in a day and age of the walking dead, where literally people are walking around dead. And basically, they're not doing anything more than their brain has had to do for the past 10, 15, 20 years, 5 years, whatever it may be. You program yourself how to walk, you just walk. You don't even have to think about it. You program yourself how to ride a bike, you just ride the bike. You don't even have to think about it. You jump on a bike, you ride the bike. You drive a car, you get in a car and you drive the car. You can now talk and communicate and do other things while you're driving a car. And it's crazy, but yes, people do it every single day. And this automatic programming becomes your way of thinking. So when you're seeing things, you've all automatically have a program that's linked to that thing that you see, and you have a description of what that means. So you're not even thinking anymore about that, because you automatically have an answer over time, because you've built a program for that thing that you're seeing. What I mean by that is a word. If you hear a word, you already have the definition of the word. These words that are coming out of my mouth, your brain is already quickly knows what these words mean and is putting them together. But think about it. Behind each word that I'm saying, there's 5 to 10 other words to explain what that word means. Right? So that's programming that you've memorized and you've got it. Well, your brain works the same way with pictures and things that you see when you're walking around in the world, and it knows them. So it's automatically taking this information in, and it's doing what it's already always done with it. So you're not getting anything new. So we'll walk around and we're not learning anything new. We're walking around in a trance of the old life of what we've already known, of going through history instead of focusing on the future. We're stuck in a rut, and we're in this specific way that is not getting us anywhere where we want to go. So people are walking around in this trance and they don't even know it. And when you try to wake them up, they're so conditioned and programmed and deeply rooted in this program that they've had, that they think you're crazy when you're trying to wake them up. And it's just a sad state of affairs. And I think that it's a planned thing with everything that goes on. This recipe has been around since the beginning of humankind. Our brains were created to be able to work in this fashion, and in our schools, they don't even teach you how to use your actual mind and how your mind works and how you can accomplish things and things that you can do with your mind, right? Great, you learn how to read, you learn how to add, but you don't learn actually how powerful your words are, how powerful affirmations are, that what you're telling yourself. We're taught in school that failing is so bad that people come out of school and they're afraid to fail. Well, failure is one of the biggest parts of success. In fact, you don't get successful if you're not willing to go through the failures. And that's not by accident that it's taught that way. It just can't be. Come on. That cannot be by accident that it's taught that way. I feel the system is just built to make employees out of people and run the big hive. Now, if you're blessed and you have parents that are entrepreneurs or business owners or have a different mindset that are teaching you, or you're reading and getting into it, bless you. That is awesome. Most people don't have that, and you're thrown in this world trying to figure it out for yourself. And think about it, if somebody had the recipe already and knew the exact recipe for success and was willing to share it with you since you were a little kid and bring that up, what advantage would you have in life? What could you accomplish? I believe the possibilities are unlimited, but instead we've still got, parents that don't even know what's happening, trying to teach their kids, and they don't realize that this programming from centuries is just being passed on from generation to generation and reiterating and solidifying that generation. So you look around the world and you look in different areas and the weed forest is getting big. So back to where I was, where people are walking around sleeping. So it's just, they're unconsciously walking around, not thinking about what's going on. People don't even think about what they think about. I mean, you get these thoughts that are in your mind, and we think thousands of thoughts a day. I don't know the exact number, but people don't even think about what they think about, and these thoughts are just running rampant. So one of the things we can do is take captive of your thoughts, become conscious of your thoughts, so you can control what you're thinking, because what you think turns into what you say, and what you say turns into what you do, and what you think, say, and do is what you get out of life. And so many times we'll say these things and not be conscious that we're literally cursing ourselves with our own words, and we're not even paying attention to it. Life is too short, and I believe these lessons and things need to be taught earlier in life so that we can understand and we can navigate through life and move forward faster. I mean, a child today, in today's world, it's 2024 when I'm making this recording, and somebody in the 50s, 40s or whatever, a 12-year-old boy then was already, depending on where they were a man. I mean, some of them were looking over a family already. You read back into the biblical days, there were people running kingdoms at that age. So what we're teaching now, I mean, you've got full-grown kids that are 25 that a 12-year-old of the old ages would be more fit to what's going around in the surroundings. Now, maybe they wouldn't have the book smarts, right? But they had more communication skills, more sense of what's going on around them, more responsibility, I think is a good word. They had more responsibility then than the kids do now. And maybe this is just from generational. I want my kids to have it better than I did. I want them to have a better life. And now it's become just so, these kids are so coddled and they get everything that they want. And it's really screwing them up more than it's helping them. It's a sad state of affairs. And you could see by the million thoughts that go through your mind that what I'm telling you is not written down. I'm just thinking out loud here. And so I got off topic again of people walking around sleeping. So, and that is the big problem, is that we're walking around sleeping and we're just doing the same thing over and over again and complaining and wondering why we're not getting different results. People get frustrated. They complain that they don't have apples when all they're doing is planting corn. Well, if you actually looked at the recipe of what you're doing on a daily basis, you could see where that recipe's going. What you're doing every single day is taking you somewhere, whether you know it or not. You're going somewhere. If you were to look on an aerial view of your life and look at your habits and the things that you do every single day, it's not hard to add that up and see where you're going. So if you want to go to a specific destination, you got to have the recipe. Make sure you're following that recipe, because you are going somewhere. You just might not be going where you want to. So I believe that it's important to pay attention to the actions and the things that you're doing every single day, because it's the little things that make the big things happen. And these little things are making a big thing happen. And a lot of people don't even know what that is. And it's sad. So we have to pay attention to the little, micro things that we're doing on a daily basis and be conscious of it. And the more you become conscious of what's happening around you, the words that you're saying and what you're thinking, I believe the more you'll be able to make these small micro changes that will have a big effect on your life and where you're going. But if you can't accept responsibility for where you are, then you can't really get where you want to go. You have to accept where you are and accept responsibility for where you're at in life. Then that means you have the power. Now you have the power to get where you want to go. So once you realize that the power in you caused your place in life right now, forget the blaming other people and what, other things had effect on that. Take responsibility for where we're at now. Then that empowers you to get where you want to go. So it's I went to a seminar years ago. I was probably 17 years old. And I went to a seminar. It was called The Forum. And this one piece stuck with me from there. I remember it forever. And that was, quite some time ago, over 20 years ago. And I remember it. And the guy said, a lot of people are walking around and they're in automatic. They're just walking around in automatic. So they're not even thinking about what they're doing, because again, we train ourselves with this program, and then the program just goes. It just goes. You don't even have to think about it. Look at the things you do. If you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth, you probably brush the same side of your teeth every day and go the same way. If you put on your clothes, you probably put them on the same way. When you get into your car, you get in your car the same way. There's so many things that are happening that you're not even thinking about, and you're just walking around in automatic. And he said, you have to switch this thing into manual. You're in control and you're in the driver's seat. Get off of autopilot. Pay attention to what's going on. Every moment is precious. Now, a good side to the automatic thing. So this is probably going to disrupt everything that I just said. I think it's powerful though. So as you address and we've established that you can program yourself to absorb these programs, what are some good programming things that you can do for yourself so you can program yourself with good micro habits that are going to get you where you want to go? Because again, there's things that you're doing right now automatically without even thinking about it, and it's taking you somewhere. So what are some of the good things that you could teach yourself and start working on that can get you where you want to go? Because good automatic habits are going to be good for you, because everything we do produces results, even if you do nothing. Okay, you won't see the result immediately, but even if you do nothing for a long period of time, oh, trust me, you're going to reap a harvest on that. So what are some of the good things that you can do? And don't try to change everything. I wouldn't recommend it. Hey, if you can, bless you, but I would say one little thing at a time. What's one little thing, small thing that you can change? Because every discipline or habit that you change affects the other disciplines and habits that you have. So it all starts with changing one of those habits, and that will in turn affect other habits. So what is one little thing that you can start with? And that's a start. And if you don't start, you're already finished. So you have to start somewhere. Again, if the walking dead out there of the world, right? If you don't start, you're already finished. So take a look at your life. Take a look at your habits that you're doing every day. Put that on an aerial view for yourself so that you can actually see what's going on. Most people will never take the time to self-reflect and look at what's going on in their life. And I am one of those people. I have made this mistake multiple times, and it's still a challenge of mine today, to be able to put things together to help me be the best person that I could be, so that in turn I could help my family, I could help my friends, I could help the people around me, I could help people that I don't even know. That is my goal. I want to lead, help, and influence people. I want to make an impact, because I feel that's why I was put here on this planet. I don't feel that I was put here by accident. I feel that I was put here with a purpose, and that I have talent, and I don't want to take my talent to the grave, and I don't think that you should either. So there's something calling you. There's something that you know that you need to do. You wouldn't be hearing this if you weren't. And you just need to do it and start taking those small steps towards doing it, and you'll get there. If you were to, start off in Maine and you wanted to walk all the way to Oregon, it's one step at a time. But if you were to take a couple steps, 10 steps, 20 steps, maybe you take 1,000 steps every single day, right? After 3 months, you look back, you probably went pretty far and you could see progress, but you're not going to see it instantaneously. It takes a while for those little steps to compound and make a big difference. So don't get upset with your results when you're not seeing them. Just know that you're going the right way. You have to know that you're going the right way. Just the feeling of making that change, you have to know that change is coming. Farmers don't go out and plant a bunch of seeds and then just say, oh, well, that's not going to grow. But they don't see it happening right away. They plant the seeds, they go, they nurture them, they water them, they do all the work when they can't even see the results because they know that the results are going to come. That is how life works. So you're not going to get the results right away. You're not going to get the instant gratification. So you have to program and teach yourself that the instant gratification is doing the thing again that produces the results that you want. And get excited about doing that thing because you know that the results are coming. 100% factual, those results are coming. They can't not come. If you make the change and you keep doing these things repetitively, the results are going to come. The fruits of your labor are going to come. Most of us get tired because we want the results now and we quit. So we quit before the harvest comes. But it is proven, knock and the door shall be open. You speak and you will get what you ask for, right? Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. It's out there and these are laws. These are the laws of the earth. So if you just keep pushing forward, you are going to get what you're after. So don't get lost in the sauce. Sure, you're going to get knocked down, but every time you get knocked down, I'll tell you what, from my experience, when I get knocked down, it feels like getting up is harder. Getting up seems to just be harder to get up, but when I get up, I'm stronger. Every time I get up, I'm stronger, and I refuse to stay down. I've got knocked down and stayed down for a couple years and got sidetracked off my goals. I've been goal-oriented since I was a kid and always had a vision and a goal. And I've accomplished many small things, but I haven't done what I was put here to do. I haven't done that yet. I haven't achieved that yet. And I've achieved some good things, right? And got a lot of things to be proud of, but I'm not done yet. I'm not resting on that because I know I'm capable of doing more. And that feeling inside of me is what drives me to get better and what drives me to continuously try to look at my life and improve it. And I'll tell you what, it's a mess. And I speak for myself personally, it's a mess and there's a lot of work to do, and I know there's a lot of work to do. And I'm working on it. And this, just letting this kind of stuff out and speaking is helping me. So this is, whether this helps you, I hope it does, but this helps me. This is my journal. This is my journal, thinking out loud.